Dear children, welcome to the online classes of biology. So, we are going to start the new chapter Cell, the unit of life. Okay, so you can see that all organisms are composed of cells only, isn't it? And there are organisms which are having only a single cell and they are known as unicellular, and some other organisms means most of the organisms are composed of many cells and they are simply known as multicellular organism, isn't it? So, what is a cell? What is the definition of a cell? The cell is able to have independent existence, and they are able to perform what some essential functions of life, isn't it? Each cell is by itself is actually complete, isn't it? It can do all the functions, and they are what able to do the function means independent existence is there, and at the same time what they can perform special functions if it is a unicellular organism. Understood? So if it is a multicellular organism, the cells they combine or they aggregate to form what? Tissues aggregate to form organs will form organ system and then organisms. So like this, if you take, cell is considered as the fundamental structural and functional unit of living organism. Okay, so less than that means if you take plasma membrane or if you take nucleus, these are not having a what independent existence. But when you take a cell, okay, there are unicellular organism which can exist as a mean separate unit. Understood? So more less than that, less than cell, no other structures can have an independent life. That's what a cell is considered as the structural and functional unit of living organism. Okay, so you have learned that a cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke, isn't it? And the living cells were first observed by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Understood? A living cell or a live cell was observed by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Then Robert Brown, he has observed the nucleus for the first time. Okay, and the instruments like microscope, okay, electron microscope, etc., could what explain the various what structural organization or what are inside the cell. This was able to know because of the inventions of microscope and means different kinds of microscope. Okay, so now we will see what is cell theory. So a scientist called Schleiden, Matthias Schleiden, okay, he was a German botanist and he observed number of plants and he formulated a theory, or he put forward a theory, that is all the plants are made up of cells, okay, and that form the plant tissues. And another scientist known as Theodore Schwann, he was a British zoologist and he studied different types of animal cells, and he said that the cells are having a plasma membrane around it, and he concluded his studies on plant tissues, that is the presence of cell wall is only found in plants. Okay, the presence of cell wall is a unique character of the plant, and on the basis of all his experiment, he proposed that a hypothesis that the bodies of animals and plants are composed of cells, okay, and products of cells. And then Schleiden and Schwann, they combined the what their findings, okay, and they put forward the cell theory. Okay, so what is that? That is all animals and plants are made up of cells, and they couldn't explain anything about how the cells are formed. So another scientist known as Rudolf Virchow, okay, Rudolf Virchow, he explained that the new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Understood? So he modified the theory proposed by Schleiden and Schwann. Okay, so how we can explain the cell theory? That is, all living organisms, including plants and animals, are composed of cells and products of cells, and all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Is it clear? So this is the theory of cell theory. Understood? So when you see a cell, overall shape of a cell or structure of a cell, if you see, okay, in plant cells the outermost boundary will be the cell wall, isn't it? Cell wall will be there. And if you take an animal cell, what will be the outermost boundary? The cell membrane. Understood? Or plasma membrane. Then every cell will have a nucleus, isn't it? A nucleus will be there. And then what they are also having what the different in the nucleus, what is there? There in the nucleus there will be DNA, isn't it? Chromosomes will be there, and this chromosomes will have what? DNA. Understood? And if the nucleus is there in a cell, then we call it as what? A eukaryotic cell. And if a cell is not having nucleus, then it is known as what? Prokaryotic cell. Okay, so whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic, there will be a fluid, semi-fluid matrix, and this is known as the cytoplasm, isn't it? And cytoplasm is the site where lot of cellular activities are taking place. Understood? Chemical reactions are taking place which help the cell to remain in the living state. Understood? So like this, if you take any cell, there will be a cell wall in case of plant cells, and in case of animal cells the limitation or the membrane which limits it is plasma membrane. Then nucleus will be there, cytoplasm will be there. Then besides nucleus, eukaryotic cells, they are having some membrane bound structures, okay, inside the plasma membrane, that are known as cell organelles. Okay, so what are the cell organelles? In ninth class you have learned, isn't it? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, mitochondria, microbodies, vacuoles, all these are what? Membrane bound organelles, and these organelles are absent in where? Prokaryotic cell, isn't it? And ribosomes, they are non-membrane bound organelles, and they are found in all cells, that is in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Okay, we have seen that these are seen where in the these ribosomes are found in eukaryotes, and prokaryotes are different, isn't it? But they are present. The only organelle that is present in the prokaryotic cell is ribosomes. Understood? So these ribosomes are also found in two organelles, inside two organelles, in addition to the cytoplasm. They are chloroplast and mitochondria, and also in the ER, endoplasmic reticulum, isn't it? They are associated with rough endoplasmic reticulum. Understood? And in animal cells, there is one additional organelle that is known as the centrosome, which help in cell division. Understood? Then, if you see the structure of or shape of cells, it varies. Size and shape of the cells are varying. Mycoplasmas are the smallest cells, okay, and they are having only 0.3 μm length, okay, and you can see different shape and size of cells, isn't it? See, it varies, depends upon the function they have to do. Okay, you can see a neuron and a trachea of a plant, then RBC, WBCC, these all varies. Okay, then largest cell is the egg cell of an ostrich. Understood? Then human red blood cells, that is around 7 mm in diameter, and nerve cells are the longest cells. Okay, longest cells. And I told their shape may vary, depends upon the functions what they are doing in the plant or they perform. Okay, what they perform in the plant or in the animal. This varies. So let's see what are the specialities of a prokaryotic cell. Okay, so examples. So prokaryotic cell, when it is heard, what comes to your mind? They are not having nucleus, isn't it? A proper nucleus is absent in them. So can you say what are the characters of Can you remember what are the characteristic features of prokaryotic cell? We have studied in ninth class, isn't it? They are not having a definite nucleus. Then examples of them are what? Bacteria, isn't it? Bacteria are prokaryotic organisms. Then blue-green algae. Then mycoplasma. Then PPLO, pleuropneumonic, okay, like pneumonia-like organisms. These are examples of what? Prokaryotic organisms. So what are they? Bacteria, blue-green algae. Okay, cyanobacteria is the other name for blue-green algae. Then mycoplasma. Then PPLO, pleuropneumonia-like organisms. Okay, so they are generally similar. Okay, and their multiplication rate is much more than eukaryotic cells, isn't it? So whatever we take, the shape of this also great means they differ. Okay, they may greatly differ in their shape and size, but the four basic shapes of bacteria are bacillus. Bacillus bacteria means they are rod shaped bacteria. Okay, then coccus means spherical type of bacteria, vibrio means coma shaped, and spirillum means spiral shaped bacteria. The depends upon the shape of the cells. Okay, bacteria are classified into four different types. Bacteria is coming under what? Prokaryotic cells only, isn't it? So what are the different types of bacteria? Bacillus, okay, coccus, vibrio, and spirillum. Okay, then if you see the structure of a prokaryotic cell, okay, it will have a cell wall. Okay, except what? In mycoplasma lacks what? Cell wall. Understood? Even though it comes under prokaryotes, then there will be a cytoplasm and they will not have any nucleus. We have studied, isn't it? There is no region known as nucleus which is covered by nuclear membrane and all. So where their genetic material is found, they are found naked, means not covered by a nuclear membrane. Understood? So that region where you can see the genetic material in a prokaryotic cell is known as nucleoid. Understood? So and there you can see the genetic or material or DNA, and that DNA will be single chromosome. Okay, they are not in pairs. Other eukaryotic organism, how it will be? In pairs, 23 pairs or 10 pairs, likewise it will be. So here only a single chromosome you can see, and it will be circular. Okay, then in addition to this, many bacteria, they are having a additional DNA, that is known as the plasmids. What are they? Plasmids. So what are plasmids? They are circular DNA which are found, small circular DNA found outside the genomic DNA. Understood? So this is not there in all the cells, but there are bacteria which are having plasmids. Okay, so they give particular characteristic like what? Resistant to antibiotics, etc. Okay, then this DNA, okay, which is involved, or these control the activities and also help in the transformation. Okay, means some kind of genetic material exchange is taking place in bacteria, like what? Transformation. So DNA is also helpful in this. Okay, that is the plasmid DNA is used to monitor bacterial transformation. Transformation is actually kind of genetic exchange between two different strains. So plasmids are useful to identify this. Understood? Then in prokaryotes, there won't be any organelles also, except what? The ribosomes. And the ribosomes present in the prokaryotic cell, or we have taken the example of bacteria, isn't it, is of 70s. Okay, so these are the characteristic, okay, of prokaryotic cell. Then another important feature is small what differentiation, that is the cell membrane is forming a structure known as mesosomes. Okay, so they are actually the infoldings of cell membrane folded inwardly, and for mesosomes they perform the function of respiration also. Okay, so like this, these are the characteristic of a what prokaryotic cell. So when you see a prokaryotic cell, what are the characters? There can be a cell wall, then cell membrane. Cell membrane is having some infoldings known as mesosomes. Then it will have a cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, in one region, there you can see the a single circular DNA, that is the genetic material, and that region where you can find this is known as nucleoid. Okay, so in addition to this, they can have what? Some additional circular DNA, they are known as plasmids. Okay, and there is no cell organelles except what? The ribosomes. So this is what the general structure of a prokaryotic cell. Understood? So hope this much is very clear to you. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.